One of my favorite and most underrated video game consoles of all time is the Nintendo GameCube. So when I was asked if I'd like to take a peek at this new mechanical keyboard that was GameCube themed, the answer is yes, of course. This is the Striker Retro Mechanical Keyboard by Nixie. They were kind enough to send one along to me so I can unbox and give you my opinion. So let's get down to business. I'd like to start out by saying I have used Nixie's products in the past. I've actually had the Wizard controller for the Nintendo Switch for quite some time, and I really like it. If you like the best controller ever, the Nintendo Wavebird, I highly suggest checking out the Wizard by Nixie. And the cool thing about this is it can be used as Joy-Cons, or you can use it as a Pro Lite controller. If you want to check it out, there's an affiliate link in my link tree. But that's not why we're here today. We're here to look at the Striker keyboard. Now, I am going to be the first to tell you, I am not a huge keyboard guy. I grew up on consoles. This PC here is the second gaming PC I've ever built in my life. I am currently using a Red Dragon, whom I have no affiliation with. It was just the coolest looking thing that I saw on Amazon when I was buying the parts to build that PC. So, I'm pretty excited to potentially replace that keyboard. That being said, the only metrics I have to judge a new keyboard on is A, how it looks, and B, how it feels and sounds when I type on it. Because truth be told, even when I'm playing on PC, I'm using a controller. Okay, first off, let's take a look at what we get in the box. We have the switch puller, which is what you pull your switches out of your keyboard with. We have new switches. So this is modular. You can change out the switches if you want. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a fan of a real clicky keyboard. So for now, we're just going to put these to the side. What do we got here? Ooh, this is interesting. Okay. So we have a cable, even though this is a wireless keyboard, and I really like the look of it. I'm a musician. This looks very much like an instrument cable. Actually, it looks very much like the instrument cable that I use for my guitar. So, already scoring points with me. I like it. Very well made. If you don't know this about me, I like to sniff stuff. What's this? That's interesting. I'm assuming maybe that's in case you want a longer cable? My PC actually sits so close to my desk and my monitor that I probably will use this wired. So I don't have to charge stuff or put batteries and stuff. All right, here we go. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. If you follow my channel, you know the first thing I do with brand new products. If you don't, welcome. This is the TST, Tofer Sniff Test. I give it a good 8 out of 10 on the fresh electronics scale. Something about smelling new electronics to me reminds me of, I don't know, Christmas. I just absolutely love the smell, and it takes me back to being a kid. So far, the 1UP Striker, certified fresh. Not as strong of a factory electronic smell as I would like, but still pretty good. Let's make sure there's nothing else in this box, and we can get rid of it. All right, here's the keyboard itself. Let's take a look. It's a pretty good looking keyboard. It definitely has a very GameCube vibe. I really love that a lot of the colors from the original GameCube controller or the Wavebird are represented here on the keyboard. You got the yellow C stick, you got your yellow arrow buttons, the green A button, which is this guy here, which I'm not sure what that does yet, but we'll find out, maybe a volume. The red back button. They colored the escape button red, just like the back button or the B button. I like that. That's attention to detail. And then of course we got classic gray around the corners of your actual keyboard and gray right around the number pad. I love that this has a number pad. I will not buy a keyboard that doesn't have a number pad. I don't know. Maybe I'm just classic. But there you go. I think they did a really good job theming those colors. That's very cool. And of course, we got stands, so it sits upright. Now, the real test. What do the keys feel like? As you could see, I could switch the keys out if I want to, but just coming stock, what do we feel like here? Oh, those are pretty good keys. Maybe, yeah. I would say that's probably the same switch that I have in the Red Dragon. It's nice and clicky. Can you hear that? Not bad. And of course, if you want, let's say you play shooters on a keyboard and mouse, you could pop these keys off like that and replace the switch. Looks like there's red switches in this keyboard now. Truth be told, if it were me, I would probably prefer to replace all the switches with blue switches. But that's a personal preference. One of the first things I always do when I get a new product is take all this plastic shielding off. You can't ever get a real good feel for something with all this crap on there. There we go. I would say all in all, the plastic feels pretty good, and the print on the plastic itself isn't bad. I think for the bezel of the keyboard, I probably would have preferred more matted plastic like the keys, but I do like the fact that the actual keyboard bezel is a glossy plastic and the keys are matted. Again, reminds me of the Wavebird. The buttons were glossy and the controller itself had a matted finish to it. Oh, interesting. That's kind of nice. It does have a dual tier kickstand. So you can do a little bit of kickstand. I actually like my keyboards to be tilted up as much as possible. So I'm gonna go with the high stand. So what exactly does this thing have? Good question. Let's start with whatever this is. Okay, so I was correct. This little green lever here is actually a volume knob. I like the fact that it has an aluminum volume knob on it. I also like the fact that it's green, like the A button. That's pretty cool. I like that. It also does look to have 3 different types of connectivity. You have wired, you have 2.5, and you have Bluetooth. And it does look like we got a dongle that stays safely stored in the top of the keyboard. I'm noticing a lot of keyboards and mice these days come with that sort of setup. So that's cool. That's cool. I like that. And this little guy up here in the corner, it says it's a dot matrix screen. So you can personalize something in this top corner. Oh, all right, I just turned it on. That's interesting. The on-off switch is actually on the dot matrix screen. So let's turn this thing on and take a look at it, shall we? So there you go, there's your dot matrix screen. It's already lit up there. You can personalize it, but we do have lots of RGB lighting underneath this thing. Let's turn some of these lights off and see if we can really take a look at it. Here we go, ready? Woo, okay. That's real dark, but that should be great. That should be enough to let us see what kind of lighting this thing has. Ready? Here we go. All right, thing lights up pretty good. As you can see, we got the little dot matrix screen up here in the corner and full backlit RGB lights. That's pretty cool. All right, let's get these lights back on. There we go. Much better. Where was I? All right, so the next logical step is to plug this baby in, see what I think of it. We are going to hardwire it because, you know, that's how I roll. I will say though, I really like this cable, like a lot. I think the only thing I don't like is that the power is way over here, but that's a me problem because my PC is on the left-hand side. So we got a battery light on now. I really like how it feels. The little volume slider automatically controls the volume on my PC, which is cool. I didn't even have to do anything there. No drivers, or maybe it already installed a driver when I plugged it in. I just wonder how I do this guy. And also just a little detail, but these little X lights that notify you when your cap locks and your num locks are on are really neat. Okay, right now the dot matrix screen is just flashing an in, which I assume is for Nixie. There's nothing in the manual about what you can do with this thing. Nixie software for the Striker. Cool. So there's just software for it. Let's download that real quick. I'm assuming that's gonna allow me to change the RGB lighting on this thing too. Stand by. I'm so bad at using PCs. Comedically bad. Isn't that right, Devin? All right, so up on the screen we have looks like a pretty basic application that allows me to change a lot of the functionality. Function settings. I can set up macros. Oh, here's the dot matrix screen. Here's lighting, drift, dynamic breathing, spectrum cycle, waves and ripples. Wow, there's lots of different settings here. Flowers blooming? What is that? Okay, that's nice. Dynamic breathing might be cool though. Yeah. Okay, I like that a lot. What's this? Ooh. Whoa, whoa. That's breathing way too fast. That is giving me anxiety. Slow the breaths down. Yeah, actually, on second thought, let's change the dynamic breathing. How about that? So I wonder if I can make this thing spell out Tofer, T-O-F-E-R. I bet I can. I am not great at this. This is what happens, folks, when you're a left-handed person and you grow up learning how to use a right-handed mouse. If this works out like I think, it's gonna be really cool. Not the prettiest R, but you know, it is what it is. Oh my God, curse my unsteady hand. That's cool. I like it. All right, you guys ready to preview this? I like this. This is cool. That's pretty cool. I really like the dot matrix screen. It's a nice subtle touch. And I also like how it's like the input for the keyboard. That's very cool. Very, very cool. I like it, Nixie. You've done a good job. I really like this thing, but let's do a quick rundown of all the features included in this keyboard. First and foremost, it is incredibly nostalgic. It's got all that retro goodness. All the keys are hot swappable, so depending on what kind of switch you want, you can change those out as well. It does have an RGB backlit keyboard, so you can go into the settings here and change it to whatever colors you would like. And in the software also, fully macro customizable layout if you want to do that. But as you saw when I plugged it in, totally plug and play also. You can just totally plug this thing in and start writing your next hit novel or whatever you want to do with a keyboard. It does have a 97 key layout, ultra compatibility, so it's compatible with just about everything, including Windows 7 and up. It's also compatible with Mac OS, and it is compatible with iOS. So if you want to use this with your iPad, like I probably will, you could totally do that. Ergonomic design with a full-bodied shape. I would say that is 100% correct. I think this is a very, very comfortable keyboard. It's got a volume roller like I showed you earlier. You can control the volume of your stuff on your devices, and it does have a 3-level stand. And I will say, just from using it so far, no offense to the Red Dragon, but I think I found a new keyboard, because every time I look down at this thing, it just gives me that awesome retro nostalgic vibe. And I absolutely love that. I also really love that it's saying Tofer.A over and over and over again in this little dot matrix screen. That's super cool. Yeah, I mean, not to mention, it just looks really cool in my setup. So there you have it, the Striker Retro mechanical keyboard by Nixie. My first impressions on this thing are very, very positive, and for the time being, I think I'm going to make this my keyboard of choice. If you are at all interested in checking their keyboard out or any of their other awesome products, I do have an affiliate link in my link tree. And this keyboard retails for $99.99, which I actually think is a pretty fair price for what I think so far is a really great keyboard. If you were looking for more products like this that give you that oh so special hit of nostalgia, you should totally subscribe to the channel. And while you're at it, you might as well watch one of the videos maybe you haven't seen yet. And until next time, enjoy the journey.